Hope I never have to use it, but something tells me I will. Never trust a tourist advertisement.
Now get out!
At last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes van der Berg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Ah, much obliged, Mr. Vanderberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me Johannes. But where are my manners? Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour, though it is its most important.
Reaching Oakmont was no easy task. Most maps I found didn't mark it, and this rickety packet ship is the only one that sailed here. Why is that?
Oakmont is no ordinary place. Its unique geographical position and the flood, a recent natural disaster, make it nigh impossible to reach. But you made it, Mr. Reed. I'm sure the tides of fate would have brought you here one way or another.
Tell me about this flood.
It began 6 months ago. Storms raged for several weeks, and the water has risen ever higher without receding. Now the city is cut off from the mainland. I must say I rather like it, despite the inconvenience. Atmosphere, you know?
You said you know someone who can help me with my problem. The visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon here in Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his hands.
How can I find Mr. Throgmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out from the crowd.
I'll need a place to lay my head while I'm here. Any recommendations?
Fear not. I've already feathered a nest for you. There's a room in your name at the Devil's Reef Hotel. Here's the key.
Sounds charming.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Mr. Reed.
What's the best way to get around Oakmont? I'd like to drop my things at the hotel.
Most locals go by foot, or by boat. I've got the latter sorted for you. There's one waiting outside the port.
You're too kind, Johannes. Can you steer me towards the Devil's Reef?
Take this map. I've marked the hotel and a few other key places.
Well, that's it for now, I think. Thanks for helping me get my bearings.
No. The pleasure was mine, Mr. Reed.
Oh, before you go, how can I get in touch with you later?
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man who finds you.
I don't care about your petty excuses. No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is fun.
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested. Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator, just arrived from Boston. I was told you might be able to help me.
Private investigator, you say? Well, perhaps we can help each other.
If I may ask, what happened to your son?
Why do you care? What's your angle, outsider?
Well, like I said, I'm a PI. Finding people is kind of my specialty.
Is it? Well, Albert was part of a deep-sea expedition I commissioned. This useless fool over here says he found Albert washed ashore in a lifeboat. Says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish in some other language. That he even tried to bite him.
And you don't believe him?
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I raised him strong and smart, the best of his kind. It couldn't have been him. Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers. Mark my words.
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions, outbreaks of hysteria. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it myself.
Another newcomer with another problem. Yes, I know what you speak of.
Can I ask you a few questions?
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innsmouther-ridden city will do a damn thing. But yes, let's talk about your dreams.
I take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city since the police burned Innsmouth to the ground. But now, those filthy migrants occupy half this damned city. The port, Grimhaven Bay, Salvation Harbor, the Shells. They are everywhere.
So they're just refugees.
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate against us, the Throgmorton family. We are the pillar of this community, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply speaking, they are a big stinking pile of trouble.
Please forgive the question, but I've never met a man quite like you before.
That's because no man measures up to the Throgmorton lineage. Proud and powerful blood flows through our veins. My father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all our offspring with these exquisite features.
Mr. Throgmorton, let me help you. I'm rather good at tracking down missing people. I'll find Albert.
What makes you think you can do it? Oakmont is not exactly friendly to new arrivals.
Let's just say I tend to see things that others miss. And anyway, what have you got to lose? Sounds like you could use every man you can get.
Vera. You have a point, newcomer.
Sorry, did you just say Vera? What does that mean?
You had better get used to the Oakmont dialect, outsider. That is, if you want to fit in. It is a fascinating blend. Vera means fine. I was saying, we have a deal.
I see. Thank you. I need to know more about what happened to Albert.
Dane, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. After leaving on the expedition, Albert was found on the shore in a lifeboat. This fisherman supposedly brought him to the house, and then left to call me. But when I arrived here, my son was nowhere to be seen.
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house. I suggest you stop dawdling and go see for yourself.
Where's the house where this all happened?
For Kay's sake, I thought you were a private eye. We're standing right in front of it.
You mentioned a lifeboat. Is it still around?
Yes. Face the house, then to the left is a beach that borders a fence. You'll find it there.
As much as I'm enjoying the weather, Mr. Throgmorton, it's time for me to get started.
Find my son, newcomer, and be quick about it.
The port is closed by order of Robert Throgmorton. Back off.
would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this.
Let's see what you find,
Hello? Hey, can you hear me?
Oh, my head. What? Who are you? Are you police? I've already told them everything.
It's okay. I'm Charles Reed, Private Eye. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
I want to know what happened here. Every detail.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis. We were here. This is our house. Barry was outside, on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to make these horrible sounds and... okay. My head began to burst, and he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing, just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called me.
That sounds familiar. Tell me about yourself.
Name's Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fella Paul, Barry, and Innsmouther Lewis Flynn. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so I started fishing. It was at or starve.
Who is this Kay you keep mentioning?
Outsiders, show some respect. Kay is our lord, our light, our love.
Sorry, I didn't know. Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. Kay be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. Lucky rascal missed everything. And I have no idea where Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
I'll leave you to it. Take care of yourself, Will.
Please, detective, sir, tell me the truth. Could it be me? Did I kill Paul? Or, Kay, did I kill him?
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone coming in or out of here, so I suggest you just try and get some rest.
I'm afraid of what I might dream.
Five cards short of a full house. Choo-choo. Ahem. Choo-choo. Ahem. I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. I'm surprised they don't have someone's portrait here. Seems like Prohibition hasn't affected Oakmont too much.
Glenna, Nechri, Glenna, Gebheil, Nugulina Haft. Glenna, Nechri.
Take this, ape-face.
What happening?
Yeah, run!
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Yeah, run! Take this, ape-face.
Ah! What's happening?
Take this, ape-face.
Ah!
Yeah, run!
Ah! What?
Take this, ape-face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled. There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee. I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp. So the fisherman pursued Albert, even let off a few shots. Even though Albert was wounded, he managed to climb that high. Robert wasn't exaggerating when he said he raised him strong. There's something in the pocket. The blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far. The door won't budge. The door won't budge. The blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far. The door won't budge. The door won't budge. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate. Mr. Throgmorton, I'm afraid I have bad news.
No.
Yeah, I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but he was murdered. Shot in the head and the body hidden.
No. It cannot be true. No, no, no. I don't believe it. No.
My condolences, Mr. Throgmorton. I had hoped for a happier outcome.
Your condolences will not bring him back. So much of our blood spilled for nothing. So much effort in vain. My poor Albert. Tell me you know who did it. I want to look him in the eyes, make him beg for mercy.
Seems like he was a fisherman by the name of Lewis. He had a gun and pursued Albert after he fled the house.
Lewis it is, then. What do you know of him?
Turns out you were right. He's an Innsmouther.
Nah. Those filthy scum have done it now. When I'm through with them, they will rue the day they dared lay a finger on a Throgmorton. Bring me that dirtbag, Lewis. He and I are due a reckoning. Do this for me, and I'll help you with anything you need.
The port is closed by order of Robert Throgmorton. Back off.
Stay alert! Monsters lurk underground. They're everywhere.
I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure.
The door won't budge.
What the? Get the... Oh. Welcome to Under the Keel. What do you want?
I'm looking for a man by the name of Lewis Flynn. Any chance he's here?
Yeah, even if I knew, I don't rat to newcomers.
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn. Trouble is, I found your note near the dead body of Albert Throgmorton, son of Robert. So, it seems Lewis is in trouble. Might have even come here to hide. But you hand him over, and he won't be back to collect what you owe. Get me?
Drock. That would explain the blood. Fine. If it gets me out of this mess, you can have him.
So?
He's upstairs. Here's the key. You gotta promise to deal with him, once and for all. But save the shooting for outside, huh?
Smart man. There's your good deed for the day. Bye.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
Drock. That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you can say poetic justice.
I got nothing to hide.
Start at the beginning. What happened?
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. So I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us. After that, Can't remember a thing.
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist descended over me. First thing I recall after is that darn warehouse and me covered in blood. I had no idea what happened, though. I suspected it had something to do with that ape. Turns out, I was right.
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. Care to fill me in?
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable. We needed jobs, food, and medicine. The city denied it all.
And so?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder, always conspiring behind our backs, always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
You mentioned a grand family. What do you mean?
So you're a newcomer, huh? Explains a lot.
Yeah, a newcomer with a gun. Answer the question.
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos of Oakmont are called the Grand Families. There's the Carpenters, who control most of the city's underworld, the Blackwoods, who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right. Those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to do whatever it is I did. Honest, have mercy, please. I have a family. Without me, they'll starve.
This is not exactly cut and dry.
Perhaps I can offer something to grease your grinds. I still have a few bullets on me.
It turns out I arrived here unprepared for business. You give me a little something to get started, and my lips are sealed.
I knew you'd understand. Here you are, Mr. Reed. Please, I told you the truth, I swear.
I tracked the murderer down, but he was attacked by those things prowling the back alleys. And they tore him apart. It was that Innsmouther fisherman, Lewis. He was covered in your son's blood. That may have attracted the beasts.
Are you certain the body is his?
Beyond any doubt. All that's left of him is a heap of flesh and this scrap of cloth. It's from his jacket. Just ask his friends.
Alas, this was my revenge to exact, not some wild beast's. Something must be done about those pests. Still, justice has been served. This isn't closure, but at least I know now the story. Thank you.
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press you, but do you think you could help me now?
Yes, you've earned it. Kay, to think a newcomer barely off the boat solves a crime the police couldn't, but I digress. Remind me, what brought you to Oakmont?
I think I'm going mad, Mr. Throgmorton. I see things, visions, and I needed to stop. I was drawn here, or guided, or I don't know. But I believe the source of this madness is here, in Oakmont.
You're not wrong, Mr. Reed. An inexplicable hysteria spread through Oakmont after the flood. I funded an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may be responsible.
A geological expedition? I'm not sure I follow.
I have reason to believe the flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below. So I sent men to find out.
You mentioned the flood. You think it's more than just a natural disaster?
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened defied scientific explanation.
Has your expedition found anything?
I do not know. Albert was part of it. His passing cannot be coincidence. Why was he alone at the port? And where are the others?
You think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert, the only one I could trust, comes ashore and is killed.
It does sound suspicious.
Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on. I expect you're as interested in the expedition's results as I am.
What about my expenses?
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, you've earned some compensation for your work here at the port. I'll also include a fair advance in bullets.
Bullets?
The dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the flood, Oakmont returned to bartering. Bullets mean more than bills.
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more. Where should I start?
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throgmorton. I just meant the more I know, the better.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to Professor Doe and Albert. When you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here, I'll show you.
Never again, they say. Crew of the Cyclops. Semper Fort. Crew of the Cyclops. Semper Fortis, brothers. No matter how much of this I chug down, the visions always return.
Finally, you're awake. Gotta tell you, though, mister, you want to stay on here? You stop making all that noise.
Noise? What noise are you talking about?
I expect my guests to be respectable. Moans, chanting, all that kind of thing. It stops, all right?
Yeah, sorry about that. I don't really remember what happened, but I'll...
Yeah? Well, next time it happens, you and
You're not exactly friendly with your guests. Aren't we the ones keeping you in business?
all these newcomers after the flood, they're stark raving mad.
What do you mean?
You can't imagine the crazy notes and books I find after they move out. Only thing they're good for is lighting the kitchen stove.
Can I have a look?
I knew it. I tell you, no one sane would be interested. And you... What's your problem?
Extra, extra. All the news that's fit for print. Buy a paper, mister?
Hello, officer.
Well, look who finally decided to show up. If it ain't Charles Reed, the genius that cracked the case of Albert Throgmorton. Captain Caleb Lyons at your service. What can we simpletons do to assist you, Mr. Holmes?
Look, all I want is access to your records during my investigations. Otherwise, I'll keep out of your way.
Oh, that's all you want, is it? Was making us look like idiots in front of Mr. Throgmorton not enough for you?
Look, I'm sorry. That wasn't my intent.
Well, that's what you did. A newcomer must know his place. Let me be frank. You ain't welcome. You slip up, don't cross a T, or dot an I, and I'll treat you like every other criminal in here, newcomer.
Hey, easy, Officer Lyons. I don't want any trouble.
Well, good. That's a start. You can use the archive, but only because you have Mr. Throgmorton as your patron. Keep that in mind, Reed.
Guess I don't need the key. Are a few damp papers all that's left of the expedition? Can't say I ever saw another shell like it. Can't say I ever saw another shell like it. These samples glitter in a weird way. I wonder where they came from.
Yeah.
Guess this helmet's beyond repair.
Grab the papers, smash the rest.
Ay, fatah, me fe ay regach, ay dagon.
Burn it all. Make sure you get the adverts.
We don't have time to pick it. Stand back.
Time to figure this out.
We don't have time to pick it. Stand back.
Grab the papers, smash the rest.
Ay, fatah, me fe.
Burn it all. Make sure you get the adverts.
Several men broke into the expedition headquarters. What they didn't smash, they burned. The archives, even the newspapers. a few damp papers all that's left of the expedition. Guess I don't need the key.
The old papers are by the door. Take them and stop bothering me already.
I think you've got me confused with someone else.
Aren't you a newcomer?
Help me out here. What's the connection between newcomers and old newspapers?
It's cold sleeping in the street, and they come to collect the old newspapers for warmth.
Yeah, I guess I am a newcomer. Charles Reed, private investigator. And I also need your old newspapers, the archive, to be exact.
Ah, so you're the one who cracked the Albert Throgmorton murder case. Nice work. I'm Helen Bland. Say, can you do me a favor? Give me an exclusive interview. You won't regret it. The Oakmont Chronicle is the best newspaper for miles around.
All right, I'll be sure to make some time for you, Miss Bland. Do you still want that interview? I got some time now, if you're ready.
Oh, absolutely. We know that you're the private eye who solved the case, but tell our reader something more about yourself.
I'm a former Navy diver. Served on the USS Cyclops, and well, after the war, I found myself in Boston. I've been a private eye ever since.
Oh, a brave sailor. Well, I imagine you'll get accustomed to local life easily. We have plenty of water around here. Maybe we'll have the chance to work together later. Who knows? And now the big question. Why are you here? What brought you...
Currently, I'm tracking down the source of the psychic phenomenon that's been causing madness and visions all across the country.
Ah, yes, it affected people here, but...
Yeah, And then hire...
I...
My pleasure. Maybe I'll do...
fish. Just caught, mister. Hey, knock it off. Fresh fish. Just caught, mister. Thank Kay. At last. Hey, help. Help.
What's going on?
Sea creatures. Swarmed over the piers. I hid here, but these walls won't stand up to them. Please help me.
What creatures? What are you talking about?
Wild beasts. They came to feast on the blood. They're eating the dead.
I'm looking for Captain Sanders. Is he here in the port? Did the creatures get him?
I saw Sanders. Help me. I'll tell you what I know.
Shot dead. Point blank. They emptied every chamber. Still stinks of burnt powder. To a man. The monsters sure didn't leave behind much. They were in high spirits, and plenty of them were drinking. This would be a weird artifact in any collection. Cape Cod. There were marks here, but they've been erased.
You can't take me! Eat this! To the mayor with you! Die! Die!
No more drink. All we've seen And you telling me we ain't allowed rum?
Let's get a handle on what actually happened here.
No more drink. All we've seen. And you telling me we...
To the mayor with you! You can't take me! Eat this!
For whatever reason, the crew went berserk. Only one man got away. I've dealt with the creatures. Now, tell me about Sanders.
He got back several hours ago. Those things, they came because of him.
What happened on the Titania?
It was horrible. A damn massacre. I heard the shots. I went out. I saw the whole thing. Sailors bleeding, dying. Blood hit the water, and then, well, then the wild beasts came to feast.
This Sanders. What kind of man is he?
Newcomer. He seemed like a decent guy. Okay, captain. Treated his crew well.
I gotta find Sanders. Where is he?
Saw him get away. Just after the shooting. Ran for the pier. Didn't see where he went after that.
Did you see anyone else from the expedition?
No. Only Sanders. I'd bet my life no one else made it back.
You look tense, honey.
For your sins.
Get the truck out.
Find something you like. Cheaper than the rest.
Patient or visitor? Hold on. Let Dr. Grant get...
A visitor. Though you are a bit pale, you don't have a headache, do you?
My head? No complaints, I'm good.
Well, you're the exception these days. We're simply overflowing with patients.
I'm looking for a man. Just checked in. Cut up pretty bad.
I've got a trauma unit full of patients like that, sir.
Okay, this might ring a bell. My guy has a deep axe wound in his shoulder.
Sir, I really don't have time for rifling through paperwork, but you're welcome to take a look at our archives if it means that much to you.
Bye. Yeesh. What happened to your shoulder?
Some psycho in a bar brawl. Gun came out, he clipped me good in the shoulder. Something I can help you with?
I'm just looking for someone. Captain Sanders.
Captain Sanders? Never heard of him. I'm Joseph Willow. You should probably look somewhere else.
That's funny. The records say you were admitted for an axe wound, just like a certain Captain Sanders got in the port massacre. Spill.
Oh, to the depths with it. Who sent you?
I'm asking the questions here, pal.
Yeah, well, first tell me who you are.
Charles Reed. I'm a newcomer. I'm looking for the source of the Oakmont visions.
We had them, my crew and I. And during the expedition, the dreams. You can't understand, Mr. Reed. You weren't there.
I was on the Titania before I came here. It seems you were all hitting the bottle pretty hard. Why?
To stop them from rioting. To save them from despair. After those dives, anyone would turn to drink.
So, the diving did a number on your crew. But what happened in the port?
I don't know. They were calm until we docked, and then they lost it. And many good men lost their lives.
What were you looking for underwater?
The cause of all this. The stones, the flood, the monsters. The scientists found cracks on the seabed. They were working on some theory of how it connected to the madness.
The ocean floor splits open and that means hysteria on land. Really?
We spent days over the cracks. We heard things. Saw things looking back at us.
I think it'd be an understatement to say your expedition met with disaster.
There are things that should never be found, Mr. Reed. I only wish I'd known that then. Maybe they'd still be alive. The scientists, my crew, none of them deserved what happened to them.
Did you know Albert Throgmorton made it to shore?
Albert survived? Is he here?
No. He didn't make it. He's dead as the rest. Murdered in the port. But what about the others?
I don't know. My crew left them down there, underwater. I ordered a rescue attempt, but they threatened mutiny.
You've got a good reason for leaving the expedition to die, right?
You weren't there. Day after day on that ship, it was a horror, Mr. Reed. We saw things. Not one of us dared sleep. It was an expedition into cursed waters, mark my words.
Tell me what happened on the last dive.
We had a system. The divers go down, then come up at a prearranged time. But not one surfaced that day. In the end, I sent a team to check. They returned with Albert, but all were half mad with fear.
Could you take me out to where the last dive took place?
No. You can't follow them, Mr. Reed. It's suicide. Worse than suicide.
I'm a Navy diver, Captain. And with all due respect, I'm not afraid of boogeymen.
I don't care. I'm not taking you there. And besides, you'll never follow them without proper equipment.
Do you know where I can get a good diving suit?
My men got theirs from a local factory. If you're that bullheaded, I'll write down the address.
Where's the logbook from the Titania?
Well, I had it with me, but I was all out of it by the time I got here. I remember the surgery ward. When I came round, my things were gone.
Get better soon.
fish. Just caught, mister.
This wouldn't even hold air for a minute. I'm not trusting my life to a rusty suit. Monsters sure didn't leave behind much. The chemical lamps are nearly spent, but I reckon I can still follow them. This stone isn't natural. Could it be a statue? The scientists didn't even take their tools with them.
Gods lean over us. Gods crawl in us. Gods who have marked me as their aphid.
The suits are all cut up. A ritual knife and a cult sign. I think I better show Mr. Throgmorton. A ritual knife and a cult sign. I think I better show Mr. Throgmorton.
Hark, he comes! The sacred full-bellied bearer of splendor. Take me, make me, I beg you.
Bearer of what? Who are you talking to? What happened?
Our eyes, first, second, third, opened by the aura. You see much, yet do not see the splendid shell of the white virgin here sleeping.
Cut the horse crap. Give me a straight answer.
Nonsense. But it is meaning that is meaningless. Open yourself. Walk, listen, pray. Wake, you holy worm. Take his skin and skull for your home. Take my worship and grant your kindness. I pray you.
The scientists didn't even take their tools with them.
Gods lean over us. Gods crawl in.
The suits are all cut up. A ritual knife and a cult sign. I think I better show Mr. Throgmorton.
Sancta Mare, be our eyes, eyes to see the distant stars.
You see now, do you? The splendid horror of the truth.
Gods lean over us. Gods crawl in.
Perfectly preserved artifact. Was it the focus of their worship? Perfectly preserved artifact. Was it the focus of their worship?
the temple the moment they take the key seal. Forget them! Get the seed and the seal now!
Okay. What? It's shivering. This... No! Get away from me!
I think I'm starting to get the picture.
We enter the temple the moment they take the key seal. Get ready to cut up their...
Okay. What?
Forget them! Get the seed and the seal now!
The expedition found an artifact that drove them mad. Then the Innsmouthers stole it and the professor in one go. Bad news, Mr. Throgmorton. The expedition members are dead, and the Innsmouthers kidnapped the professor.
Those degenerates, they dare get in my way.
Your expedition found something buried in the ruins. The Innsmouthers were after it. They captured Professor Doe, along with the artifact she was carrying.
Artifact? What artifact? Where did you find them? Tell me everything.
Your men found some kind of underwater temple. In it was an ancient artifact. The Innsmouthers call it the Seal. The Innsmouthers were lying in wait. Your men took the item, and the Innsmouthers took their chance and made off with Professor Doe and the artifact.
How did they catch them off guard?
Seems that after the seal was taken from its place, everyone in the expedition suffered some kind of mental breakdown. The Innsmouthers must have known about that and waited for the right moment.
They knew what was going to happen. Inconceivable. Wait a moment, how did you know they were Innsmouthers?
One of the attackers was killed by a member of the expedition. I have a photo.
My expedition failed. My boy was killed. This is more than personal, Mr. Reed. This is a threat to everyone.
They have Harriet and the artifact she found, but she may still be alive.
That's why I hesitate to wipe their fish-faced kin from Oakmont this instant. But we won't sit idle. Find them, Mr. Reed. Not the grunts, but their leaders. Infiltrate their ranks if need be. Bring me my professor back.
I'm looking into the madness, not politics and power games.
And your best source of information is currently in the slimy hands of those Innsmouthers. Professor Doe shared the visions. She found something inside those ruins, and now they have her. She knows something crucial, I'm certain. There's also a more delicate matter I wanted to discuss with you, Mr. Reed.
I can be delicate when it matters, so shoot.
I have a colleague, you might say. His name is Herbert Glover. Like myself, he is a collector of fine art.
I'm a detective, Mr. Throgmorton, not a burglar.
I don't care for your insinuation, Mr. Reed. I would never be so crass as to hire a thief. I had a meeting arranged with Herbert. One of great importance, shall we say. One at which he failed to appear. I want you to find out why.
My dance card's full at the moment. Maybe later.
I shall be waiting, Mr. Reed. But I advise you not to dawdle. Patience is not exactly my strongest virtue.
open! Damn newcomers!
What's your problem?
Take as much as you need.
There will be loss.
Fish? Fresh fish? Take as much as you need. Fish? Fresh fish? Take as much as you need. It won't cost you a penny. Don't be shy. We have enough for everyone.
I've heard that I can find an organization hereabouts that goes by the name of the EOD. Am I in the right place?
You sure are. I happen to be a representative of the EOD. Pleased to meet you. My name's Anna. Can I help you with something?
Charles Reed. Just a few questions, if I may.
Of course. Ask away, Charlie.
What is the EOD? I mean, what do you do as an organization?
Well, we are a non-profit charitable organization. Actually, it's better to say that we're a gathering of volunteers. We're not an official charity yet. As for what we do, we try to help ease the suffering in our city as much as we can.
Oh, and how do you do that?
We provide fish for the hungry and fix the homes of the poor. We also patrol the streets at night to keep the wild beasts and bandits at bay. And many, many more things. Whatever needs doing. Anything to help the people, Charlie.
What does EOD stand for?
Everyone's obvious duty. When we began, it also had, is to help each other, but we dropped that part. It was a little bit wordy.
It's been great chatting with you, but I'm actually here to speak with the EOD leadership. You know where I can find them?
Not so fast, Charlie. Nobody meets the top brass without being a member. You need to earn a rank in the EOD first.
Oh, you're kidding me. What for?
You need to prove yourself. Show us through your actions that you're worth our time. No offense, Charlie.
How can I join?
That all depends on what skills you can offer us. What do you do best?
Well, I'm afraid my resume's in my other jacket. Let me see. I was in the Navy during the war, and ever since it ended, I've been a private eye.
The sea provides. Turns out we have a job that's a perfect fit for you.
Okay. Tell me more about this job.
Well, last night someone tried to break into our fish storage room. Luckily, the guards scared him off, but I fear they'll be back to finish the job. That's why we've been busy today giving away all the fish to the people. We'd rather it get into the hands of the needy than to some thief.
And you want me to find whoever this thief is, right?
You're smart, Charlie. I like it. Exactly.
Fine. Count me in.
Good. Thank you. Here's the address. Tell the guard the password, I serve the sea, and he'll let you into the storeroom.
See you later.
you got business here?
I serve the sea. Anna sent me here to investigate the recent break-in.
Sea be praised. Finally. I'm Daryl Grimes. How can I help you?
Can you tell me what happened? And don't skimp on the details.
Not much to tell, sadly. It was a man, that much I know. He snuck in while I was upstairs, tried to steal the fishies, but I heard him. Nearly got him with a harpoon by Kay, but I missed in the dark. He got away, that Dane, but I wonder, why steal what you can get for free?
Yeah, that's a bit of a puzzler. What did this burglar look like?
Same height as you. Not too big, not too small. Nothing to write home about. An average Joe. If not for his, bald head. That guy was as bald as an egg. I could see the moonlight reflecting off the top of his head.
And what did he steal?
Nothing. I scared him off before he could.
Where did he go after that?
Don't know, pal. He was way faster than me.
What's the deal with the password and such?
Orders from the higher-ups. I don't get to ask why.
All right. Well, that's enough for now, Mr. Grimes. I've got to go to work.
Here, take the key. May the sea bless you.
That's a fancy-looking bottle. Looks like it was taken from a lab somewhere. And there's some kind of powder left on the bottom. I better not touch it. It could be dangerous. This guy must really be into his hobby to have such impressive tools. Nice work. When I was a kid, I would have gone nuts for this. Well, if it was finished, that is. Thing's dead as a doornail, but I don't see any wounds. Fresh, still smells of the sea. No signs of decomposition at all. Wow. It pierced a good inch of solid wood like it was nothing. Wow. It pierced a good inch of solid wood like it was nothing. So first it ate the fish, and now it's dead. That's troubling.
Come back, you thief. I'll show you not to mess with us.
I hope Professor Westerbrook never learns about this. Just a little bit more. Oh no.
Darn pests. Mayor, take them.
Okay, let's see what we have here.
I hope Professor Westerbrook never learns about this. Just a little bit more. Oh no.
Darn pests. Mayor, take them. Come back, you thief. I'll show you not to mess with us.
A man broke into the fish storage, poisoned the fish with an unknown substance, then made a noise which alerted the guard, who chased him out. I have questions.
You dig up anything interesting?
I sure did. Turns out our friend here wasn't here to rob the place. He came to poison the fish.
By the sea. Are you sure?
Well, that's what the evidence suggests, anyway.
Okay, this is horrible. Please don't tell Anna it was my fault, or she'll have me quartered.
Don't worry, I won't tell her. You seem like a decent sort, Daryl. I'll make something up.
Thanks, Mr. Reed. Here's a little something to express my gratitude. Take care now. Still, I've done wrong and I deserve to be punished. I'll stay on guard duty for the next month without a day off. You have my word.
All right, you go ahead and do what you gotta do, I guess. I found a hidden room full of shackles and chains downstairs. Looks like some kind of torture chamber. Know anything about it?
What? Stop talking, Druck. That can't be true. I know this place top to bottom.
Now, Daryl, you know I'm a detective. And if you're lying, I'm going to find out one way or another.
I've got nothing to do with it, I swear, Mr. Reed. Go ask Anna. She's responsible for renting the place. I know nothing about this.
Okay. I'll talk to Anna. We'll see if your story holds up. Can you remind me where I can find the Oakmont University?
You can't miss it. It's the greatest thing Oakmont has to offer, except maybe our famous caramelized eel stew. Give me your map. There you go. But don't forget to first report your findings to Anna.
See ya.
May the sea protect you.
Don't be shy. We have enough for everyone. Fish?
I've got news about your fish storage problem.
Oh, I'm all ears, Charlie.
It only looked like a robbery. Some guy broke into the storage to poison the fish. Near as I can tell, he succeeded, at least partially. I realize it's a lot to take on Faith. Look, I've got a sample of what I think is the poison, though I can't identify it yet.
Sea protect us. That's terrible. What kind of man would do such a thing, and why?
I don't know, but I aim to find out.
We need to stop distributing the fish. We have to let everyone know about this. Kay knows how many people might already be affected.
What do you want me to do with the poisoner once I find him?
I'd bring an end to him right there if I were you. The police and court are useless these days.
That wasn't the deal. I'm a detective, not a hitman.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Report to me when you find him. I'll see that the reward will be more than handsome, if you know what I mean.
I'll, see what I can do.
One thing still bothers me. The guard at the storage, Daryl. What was he doing at the time?
Your guard was vigilant. He fought bravely, but the poisoner knocked him out. You ask me, he deserves a raise.
Good old dependable Daryl. I hope he's okay. I'll see he gets his due. Goodbye, Charlie.
I've found what looks suspiciously like a dungeon in the basement of your fish storage. Care to explain?
Excuse me? You've found what?
A dungeon. Chains, shackles, and blood. Ring any bells?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but it sounds awful. We only started renting the place a few weeks ago. Goodness. I'm going to have to ask our landlord several uncomfortable questions, it seems. Thanks for the heads up, Charlie.
See you later.
Find something you like. Cheaper than the rest.
Extra. All the news that's fit for print.
Welcome to the University of Oakmont. How can I help you?
You recognize this bottle? You know where it comes from?
Sorry. We have hundreds of bottles like this in the university.
Fine. I need to know what's in it. Any suggestions?
Ah, you need an analysis. Well, I'm sure someone from the Department of Medicine can help there.
I'm looking for Professor Westerbrook. You know where I can find him?
You're the one bringing him the specimen?
Specimen?
Oh, never mind. He's in the Department of Medicine. Let me show you.
You have a good day.
Goodbye, sir.
Hello, sir. Welcome to Oakmont University Department of Medicine. I'm Samuel.
Charles Reed, private investigator. I have a few questions if you don't mind. You recognize this bottle? Maybe you could tell me what's inside.
That's one of our lab bottles. We have a lot of them. As for what's inside, I'd need to run some tests.
Yeah, could you do that for me?
These tests aren't cheap. And the other day I could get right to it, but we're, somewhat hindered right now.
What's up?
Our lab is crawling with, well, creatures. Professor Westerbrook's research is a little unconventional, and something went wrong. Really wrong.
So, if I do a little pest control for you, you'll run those tests for me. For free?
Our budget is tight. You'd be helping the cause of science, Mr. Reed. Isn't that enough?
Oh, I guess science could help itself.
All right. Yes, you solve our problem, and I'll run the test for you. Off the books. Here's the key for the basement.
I'm glad this thing is dead. Why do they even keep it here? Some serious equipment they've got here. Oakmont University is clearly well funded. What kind of person would even touch this? Not to mention dissect it. Your lab is certified creature-free.
Excellent, Mr. Reed. You've done us a great favor. Now we can get things up and running again.
Okay. I've done my part. Here's the bottle. Now you run those tests.
Yes. Wait here. It shouldn't take long. We finished that analysis, sir. It's ricin.
Ricin?
A highly toxic poison extracted from castor beans. It's slow-acting, but absolutely fatal to humans.
So, where do you get ricin? This isn't something you can pick up from a drugstore.
About that. It is rare, but we have a certain amount of it here. For study, in our poison store. Or we did. I'm afraid that must be where it came from. The label had been tampered with, but it certainly looks like ours. Where did you find it?
Crime scene. Someone was trying to poison a bunch of fish with it.
This is horrible. I need to warn everyone in the university about this.
Who's got access to where the poison's stored?
Only Professor Westerbrook has the key. His office is upstairs, right alongside Professor Cavendish's. Professor Westerbrook's not here, though. He's been sick for the last few days. Professor Cavendish is away as well, on vacation.
Where do they live?
I'm not sure, but probably somewhere in Advent. Most of the teaching staff live there. Wait, you don't think it was one of them?
I'm working on that. Can you let me upstairs?
Well... all right. This is serious. I'll help you. Here's the key, but please don't disturb the professor's things.
I'd like to know a bit more about your professors.
What do you want to know?
I want to know more about Westerbrook.
He's the head of our department. He's been here for, well, at least 30 years. He's one of the longest-serving staff we have. As you've already seen, he's particularly interested in the wild beast that recently appeared in our city.
Yeah, that's quite the unique fauna you have there.
I've no idea how he did it, but Mr. Throgmorton's men brought him live specimens for his research. He thinks he's on the verge of a breakthrough in evolutionary theory. A secret that, once revealed, will benefit all humankind.
Some secret should stay buried, 6 feet under.
You're not a man of science, are you? It's not about why. It's about what if.
What can you tell me about Professor Cavendish?
He's one of the most brilliant teachers we have here. A PhD at only 25. Just imagine. His biochemistry studies are second to none, worthy of a Nobel Prize. If he could complete his work.
What's his problem?
I don't know. There's some kind of family trouble. It's made him standoffish and irritable, and easily distracted. I hope he gets through whatever he's going through. We need his talent, especially in these dark times.
I'll see you later. The door won't budge. These bottles look exactly the same as the one with the poison.
This should be good enough to make a decent copy.
Yes, yes, I haven't got all day. What do you want?
Just wanted to say hi. I'm new in town.
Oh, how nice for you. If you need to look anything up in our archives, get in line like everybody else.
Well, if that's the way it is, then that's the way it is.
Good. I'm glad we understand each other.
by.
Come, find something you like. Cheaper than the rest.
Extra, extra. All the news that's fit to print.
Buy a paper, mister? That's coming up on. All I'm saying, today only. Watch your step.
The door won't budge. And judging by the layer of dust on it, this ring hasn't been worn in a long time. So why keep it around? The door won't budge. A lot of fancy dresses locked away in a dark corner for a long time. I'm starting to smell some deep family trauma here.
I loved you. I always loved you.
This Cavendish guy did an impressive investigation, and the EOD's in the center of all of it. This Cavendish guy did an impressive investigation, and the EOD's in the center of all of it.
George?
I don't care what your damn EOD cult demands, Anna!
You will never understand our cause! My child is blessed by the sea! I'm leaving you, George!
Okay, let's see what we have here.
I don't care what your damn EOD cult demands, Anna!
I thought the child was mine.
George, I can't. You will never understand our cause! My child is blessed by the sea! I'm leaving you, George!
I don't care what your damn EO.
You will never understand our. George, I can't live like this anymore. There's something I have to tell you. George?
I don't care what.
You will never understand our cause! My child is blessed by the sea! I'm leaving you, George!
George Cavendish. He had a wife named Anna. She had a baby that was not his, but blessed by the sea and claimed by the EOD. This caused their split.